Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Mana Cave. My name is Ed.
My name's Travis.
And there's a slight change, which you may notice behind. I've got a new couple set of shelves behind us. I needed I needed storage in the studio, and I needed something that was actually going to be used as sort of blockage.
Stage.
Yeah, stage setting as well too. So that's a new little exciting thing for me, anyways. I'm not sure if it's exciting for you guys, and also shows off some of the other games that we might one day be playing in the Mana Cave, which would be awesome.
Mostly Magic. Still open.
Though actually it wouldn't be the Mana Cave, because the Mana Cave is strictly Magic. It'd be Tabletop Trenches when we bring that back. Anyways, talking about the Mana Cave, we are going to be doing something slightly off path for what we've been doing, which has been the Planeswalker Deck Showdowns. We are going to be playing with 2 of the new M19 Planeswalker decks, but this is an exhibition match. The reason why
Don't say losers bracket or anything, because in all fairness, Tezzeret hasn't lost.
Well, yeah, Tezzeret hasn't lost. I don't know how well Tezzeret's going to do. One of the reasons why I left Tezzeret to be the last one, to be the wild card one, and not face off against some of the other regular M19 during the regular showdown, was because I think it's the weakest deck. So I thought he was going to get blown out of the water regardless of who I pitted him against.
Your opinion should matter, because at this point, you're not quite an expert, but you have a long history of these Planeswalker decks.
I think typically, I don't know usually if I say it on camera, but a lot of the times we'll talk about it ahead of time, and between you and I, we usually predict who's going to win regardless. It's very few times we're surprised by who ends up winning one of these ones, or even when we were doing the 1v1 Commander ones, we weren't super surprised, except for one particular episode, which we were... Anyways, so I wanted to show off the Tezzeret deck a bit early. Now, I've talked about this in the previous videos, the last 2 Planeswalker Deck Showdowns. I was asking the opinion from you guys to pick a wildcard entry to square off against Tezzeret. Right now, it seems to be, based on the comments, neck and neck between the first Chandra and the first Ajani.
Because the first Chandra was almost set up to fail. It was against the Nissa one, and Chandra was a bit of an artifact sub-theme kind of thing. Yeah. And so much of the Nissa deck was like artifact hate. Yeah. So it was just like, here's cards that are meant to just completely destroy your deck and make you cry. And Nissa won that. I mean, she didn't end up winning the long one, I don't think, but it seemed she did well.
I think Nissa went all the way.
She went all the way.
Whether it was that Nissa or the other Nissa, I think Nissa ended up going all the way. I think it was that one, because
that also had the energy with the...
I really got to write this stuff down. There'll be a graphic showing who won the first one. So yeah.
It might have been her against the ultimate winner of Nicol Bolas.
Yeah.
I think, but...
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so that Chandra, I would have to say she doesn't deserve a fair shot, but I think a lot of people really want to see...
A lot of people, that's one of the reasons why we're doing this. This is going to be a training episode so you guys can get to see the Tezzeret deck in action, because we're probably not going to get around to the wild card game for a few more episodes. This is episode, unless I'm miscounting, 98. The next episode is going to be the runoff between Vivian and Liliana. And then there's going to be episode 100, which is not going to be a Planeswalker Deck Showdown. It's going to be something a little bit different to sort of celebrate the 100th episode. So you guys might be waiting a long time for the actual wildcard showdown game between Tezzeret and the undetermined deck. So I wanted to do one game in between that actually shows off the Tezzeret deck, because it's, before it becomes old news sort of thing. Old news. So it is going to be Tezzeret versus Sarkhan. Sarkhan was one of the possible selections. I'm going to actually remove that now. A lot of people wanted to see Sarkhan versus Tezzeret. So I thought this would be a good exhibition match. Yep. 2 of the M19 ones facing off against each other. So now folks are going to get a chance to see
red versus blue.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, right? So it's like they're mortal enemies in the color wheel. And I don't know if these two have a history. Apparently, Tezzeret has a history with Chandra.
Doesn't he have a history with everybody?
Yeah, he doesn't. He's not.
Well, he's Nicol Bolas' like right-hand man, so he naturally puts
those those 2 are buds, but everyone else he seems to have an issue with. So that's why we're going to be doing this one, which once again this is not going to affect the Planeswalker Deck Showdown in any way. So, and as well too, because it seems to be down to Ajani and Chandra as to who's going to be the wildcard spot, I may end up doing some sort of official vote in the future. So keep a lookout for information on that, and there'll be maybe an actual poll when it comes to which one is going to end up facing off against Tezzeret. I don't know that for sure yet. I may just go based on comments. So in the meantime, now that we've basically narrowed it down to 2 possible finalists, in the comment section, let me know who you'd like to see Tezzeret face off against as a wild card spot. Is it going to be Ajani, or is it going to be Chandra. That's the first Ajani, and I believe the first Chandra. So
I think the first Chandra too, because second Chandra won.
Second Chandra, yeah, that's actually second Chandra is going to be advancing into against.
Is it only the second Chandra, or might it be the third Chandra?
That's one of the things. It's like it's so weird because there are so many other planeswalkers they haven't touched yet, and yet they brought Nissa back twice. They brought Liliana twice. The Johnny's now twice. I think Chandra is either 2 or possibly the only one with 3.
Tezzeret's twice, at least twice.
That one surprises me. I mean,
I think because he's all up in the storyline.
Yeah,
right
so the storyline aspect of it, I was surprised that he got 2, and then every once in a while they introduce a new one. So, anyways, we've talked quite a bit. We've talked the usual amount for a Mana Cave episode. The last episode, talk even longer. Last episode, we almost talked for only a minute before we started the match, but then we started talking in between. Then
it was also the second episode recorded that night, so there was just less talk. Let's just get down to
it's just enough talk, more play. Yeah. Speaking of which, we've determined our opening hands.
I did mulligan, but I'm going to scry right now.
Yeah, you scry right now. I did not mulligan, so I'm going to start off with 7 cards. We have not rolled to see who is going to play first. You're actually using a old school spin down counter.
I came straight from work. I remembered the camera. I did not remember my spin down thing. So,
beat a 3. I've been just
10.
Biting it with these rolls lately. So, we're going to move the boxes aside.
Bounce. Show.
You're going to get to go first, so you're going to show. I'm going to move a speck of cardboard dust or something off the...
I noticed my beard hair from over here.
Now, I know I give you grief every time.
Every time.
But if you could hold it just somewhere around the middle, that'd be awesome.
I think that's the middle, without a ruler.
You say that every time, and then I go edit,
every time you tell me I'm doing wrong.
It's off frame.
I'm holding it. My deltoids are currently sore from holding this.
You don't even have to hold it that high. It's just,
I thought you were going to say, you have deltoids out there. I'd slap you, good man.
I would never. I'm the last person that needs to go after someone's muscle tone. So, okay. So, this. Wow, that was a whistle when I said this. This is the deck here, which I'm showing you directly into the center of the frame. And
can I look and see what you're doing? This is the deck.
This is my hand, not the deck.
Can I look and see what you're doing, just so I know?
I think it's an okay opening hand. I think it's one of the best hands or among the best hands that Tezzeret's going to get. So, we can. You may now look.
I may now look.
And you may start when you are ready, sir.
All right. So I don't draw. So I just play the most mountainous looking mountain I have, and then pass the turn.
Okay.
Bounce over there, put that down, grab that beer.
Alrighty, so now I'm going to do something I don't normally get to do very often. I'm going to play an island. Mm-hmm. That's not the thing that I don't normally get to do, but I'm going to do a turn 1 play. I'm going to tap it to bring up the Gearsmith Prodigy. It's a 1/2 human artificer, and it gets +1/+0 as long as you control an artifact, which I do not yet, so it's still just a 1/2. Pass turn to you.
On your end step.
No, shocking.
I'm going to shock it. And there's probably going to be comments on that. Like, there might have been better chances, better creatures to that shock for, but you know what? I just thought it was kind of funny.
No, because, chances are with this deck, an artifact could come down on turn 2, so, and you set me back, right? So, anyways, pass turn to you.
Maximize my turn.
It's a red counter spell, if you look at it that way, really. Yeah. It's not, I don't think it's a waste, so.
I'll play another fine looking mountain. And then just pass back to you.
Okay. Alrighty, well, I'm going to play an island. And then I'm going to tap for 2 and bring out cards that I think I have 3 copies of in this deck, and I don't know why. Pendulum of Patterns. For 2, you get an artifact which, when it enters the battlefield, I gain 3 life. So I am at 23. And then it's going to sit here like a bump on a pickle until I get to 5 mana, and then I can pay 5, tap it, sacrifice it to draw a card.
3 life? Against a burn deck? That's actually...
This is the only matchup where I think this is going to be super relevant. So I still don't like the fact that they put so many in this deck. I'm going to pass the turn to you. Unless you want to somehow...
A braid?
Shock it? Yeah.
No, a braid's a good card. Why would they put that in this deck? I'll draw a turn. I'll play a mountain. I'll tap 3... for Sarkhan's Whelp.
Oh, yes.
A 2/2 flying dragon. Whenever you activate the ability of a Sarkhan Planeswalker, Sarkhan's Whelp does 1 damage to any target. It's nice that it's got that any target thing, but has to, because it doesn't have haste. I think it should.
Does not have haste.
Does not have haste. Does have flying?
Not everything red can have haste,
I know.
I'm going to play an island.
I know that, but in my heart, I don't feel that that's true.
If they worked harder, It would all have haste. Okay, so I'm going to pay 2, and I'm going to cast Pendulum of Patterns, which we just talked about. So I'm going to go up to 26, which, once again, against the red deck is kind of nice. But
so next to counter spells, life gain, I find one of the most frustrating things.
And I'm going to pass the turn to you. One thing you should know is that there is no counter spells in this deck.
None?
Because, heaven forbid, I think there's only ever been one of these Planeswalker decks of blue that's had a counter spell, and even then it was a conditional counter spell. I think it was for instants and sorceries. I'm not entirely sure on that. They typically shy away from putting counter spells in these decks.
I will play a mountain. Okay. I will go to combat.
I'll take 2, so I'm down to 24.
26. Yeesh. That's all I'm going to do at this point.
That's all you're going to do?
That's all I'm going to do at this point.
Okay. I feel like the second a creature hits the board, it's just going to get shocked. Okay. So I'm going to play an island.
24 life still. Yay.
I am then going to pay for 4. Cast 2 Pendulum Patterns. I'm going to pay for 4 and cast Tezzeret's Gatekeeper. It is an artifact. When it enters the battlefield, look at the top 5 cards of your library. This is the replacement for the tutor card for this deck. You may reveal a blue or artifact card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest in the bottom of your library in a random order. Pay 5 and 1 blue, tap it, sacrifice the Gatebreaker. Creatures you control can't be blocked this turn. So I'm going to set this with my ever-growing pile of artifacts that are just going to sit there. I'm going to look at the top 5 cards of my library.
Do you have to reveal the card?
I do have to reveal the one that I'm going to put in my hand. I'm actually going to keep an artifact instead of a blue card. I'm going to grab Gearsmith Guardian. For 5, you get a 3/5 artifact creature construct, and it gains +2/+0 as long as you control a blue creature, which I do not control a blue creature yet. But the big thing is its toughness is 5, and I think that can keep it out of most of the burn removal range. So these go on the bottom of my deck in a random order.
Damn them in a random order on the bottom.
And I'm going to pass the turn to you. Next turn, I can start sacrificing pendulums.
Hey, that's something.
It's actually I mock it, but later in the game when I'm in top deck mode, these are going to be very, very useful, even though they cost 5.
I will just go to combat.
Sure.
Swing over for 2.
1 sec.
Slowly getting you down to that starting level.
I need a big sip there before I can change my life total. Okay, so I'm down to 22.
I'll pop 2 for the guy whose name I can't pronounce. Vashino. It's the IA. Viashino Pyromancer. He's a Viashino wizard. When he enters the battlefield, it deals 2 damage to target player or planeswalker.
Okay, so I'm at 20.
Otherwise, it's a 2/1 wizard for 2 mana.
I do like, even though, once again, I give the pendulums a lot of grief, I do like the fact that you've attacked twice and then basically shocked me, and I'm at 20. So that feels good.
I shocked your creature, not you.
I'm going to untap my lands. Very important. I'm going to play an island. Yeah, what the heck. I'm going to tap for 5. Yeah. I'm going to bring out the Gearsmith Guardian, which we just talked about. So it is a 3/5. I do not control blue creature, so it does not get the +2/+0. Now, I do know that you have some removal for creatures, like Fiery Finish or something like that this is in the range of, but hopefully you don't have that in hand. Anyways, I'm going to pass the turn to you. You missed a land drop. I just realized that now. Okay.
There we go. Makes you feel better.
It was fun while it lasted.
So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to combat.
Okay.
I'm not going to attack with my Pyromancer because he'll just get eaten up. But he does not have reach or flying, so I'm going to swing red for 2 damage.
Okay, so I'm down to 18.
And now I should have done that wrong. Or I should have done that different. I'll tell you why.
Oh, okay.
Because now I'm going to cast for 5. Yes, 2 red, 3 of anything. Sarkhan's Dragonfire. Deals 3 damage to any target. So had I attacked with this guy, you probably would have blocked.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah,
I could have killed it. But I'll just deal, it's 3 damage to any target, so I will do 3 damage to the face.
I might not have, just because I knew that would have put it, not necessarily that particular card, but I might have been leery about.
So best case scenario, I would have got through with 2 damage.
You would have got through with 2 more damage, yeah.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
3 to your face. I got to reveal the top 5. Look at the top 5 cards in my library. I may reveal a red card from among them and put it into my hand. Put the rest in the bottom of my library in a random order.
There we go.
So 5.
It's always there are 2 types of cards that I like to make an appearance with these showdowns. It's the tutor card, because I like usually showing off that card in a game, and the Planeswalkers. So at least we got the tutor cards on both of our sides to show up. Oh wait, so that's just 3 damage to a creature, or it can be 3 damage to me as well?
Any target.
Any target. So you're doing 3 damage to me. I did not take it, sorry. So I'm down to 15.
So I did not find Sarkhan.
No.
But I found something decent. It bothers me that I have to reveal it. It is the Demanding Dragon, who I've actually run this card a lot in online.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a 5/5 flyer for 5. No haste.
No haste.
When an ETB enters the battlefield, deals 5 damage to target opponent unless that player sacrifices a creature. It's a good card.
See, and that's going to be tough for me, because I think the second I put another creature on the board, you're going to be able to get rid of it with regular removal. Now, that does cost 5, so unless you get a mountain, have a shock in hand, and that, I should be okay.
Yeah, I think you're doing great.
But we'll see. My turn? Okay.
Yes.
So untap the lands.
You could have done so much.
Okay, I'm going to play an island. I'm going to tap for 4 and bring out Snapping Drake. It's a 3/2 flyer, and it's a blue creature, which means that Gearsmith Guardian is now a 5/5. So I'm going to now move to combat.
Move to combat?
And I'm going to swing in with the Guardian.
I'm not blocking this turn. I could jump. Or I could take 5.
The choice is yours.
I will take 5.
You will take 5. Okay.
I'm not saying I got a plan or anything, but
I'm now going to pass the turn to you, sir.
you say you don't have counterspells. Sometimes.
But I've got 2 blue up, and we all know what that means.
Oh, there it is.
Damn it. What was the scenario I came up with? You have shock in hand. If you grab a mountain, you can, wipe my entire board possibly.
Shock that dude. But this turn, I am just going to go right ahead, save my shock, and cast the aforementioned Demanding Dragon while he's on the stack.
So either take 5 or sacrifice a creature, right?
Yeah.
It's a creature or permanent?
Sacrifices a creature.
Damn, I could easily sacrifice a permanent. You know what? I'm going to take 5. That may be a bad choice, but I'm going to take 5. I don't want to lose anything yet. So if you have a shock, you're going to ruin my day.
So he's a 3/2.
He's a 3/2.
Okay. I'll just go to combat.
I'm going to block with a Snapping Drake. Okay.
They trade.
So they trade. My turn?
Back to you.
Okay. Alrighty. I'm going to play an island. I'm going to tap 3, and I'm going to cast Dwindle. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets -6/-0. When enchanted creature blocks, destroy it. And I'm going to put that on him. So I'll just tuck that underneath there.
Ouch, he's dwindled.
He is dwindled.
Yeah, so that plan I had a lot to do with that there.
And you know what? I'm not going to attack this turn.
Okay.
I'm going to pass the turn to you.
Well, he be dwindled.
As much grief as I gave Pendulum Patterns, they may actually come into effect very, very soon.
That's not cool. So I'm going to tap for 3 to cast Active Treason. Gain control. Well, he's only a 3/5. It's not like he's a 5/5.
I know, but still, I'm
not like I have.
I'm going to go down to half here.
Not like I have the other part of my plan in play or anything.
Oh, that's right, too, because you have...
10.
What is the thing that allows you to sack? Oh, Thud or something.
Do I have
Thunk or Thud or... Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so okay. Imagine you're moving to combat.
I'm moving to combat. So that's just for 5.
So I'm down to 5.
And I'll do 1 for shock.
Oh, so you're shocking me or shocking
you?
Yeah, so I'm down to 3, and then you got Lightning Bolt?
Lightning Strike.
Lightning Strike.
Pendulum of Patterns,
You guys wanted to see it. You guys wanted to see this. This is like a horrible matchup for the Tezzeret deck. It's a horrible matchup for the Tezzeret deck. Yeah.
I don't know. Life gain's pretty good against burn.
But see, and this is one of the things, because I know you dislike life gain, but I don't. Unless a deck is entirely based around life gain,
yes.
Life gain a lot of the times doesn't do much. And this is one of the reasons, because if you are in a downward spiral against a deck, you're going to be in a downward spiral regardless of whether you have 6 more life or not.
Yeah.
So, and I had just an island in hand. So, yeah, I would have really enjoyed to have turn 2 and turn 3 plays not be those. By the way, if I were to make any changes to the deck, we'll talk about this now. If I were to make any changes to the deck, these cards, the 3 of which they have, I think they have 3 or 4, I can't remember which, would be the very first things I cut from this deck.
And still 2 mana. It's not like it's a 0 mana or a 1 mana. Because I know there was a lot of, I'm not sure, but I'm going to go ahead and assume that deck's got a lot of like, I don't know if it's per se improvised, but a lot of things where it's like based off the number of artifacts you control. Or
even that would make it a little bit better. But no, it's and then it's 5 to draw a card
and sacrifice it, right?
Yeah, and
so it's a one-shot deal there. It's not even like it's 5 and draw a card.
So
and that's repeatable.
Before we move on to the next game of this match, I just do want to talk about something. I usually talk about this at the end. I'm going to talk about it now. Just in case some of you haven't seen it, maybe some of you don't watch to the very end. I don't know.
I feel like you're getting some off your chest.
No. I have a token of the month club that I do. Actually, it's through Patreon, but it's sort of a separate entity. It's separate and still attached to the channel itself. So each and every month, there is a new token being created exclusively for Brain Pulp TV. My friend and fellow artist Larda Souza and myself joined forces to create these tokens. We've come out with goblins, zombies, spirits, soldiers, and saprolings were the last one. I believe next month's is going to be Thopters. So you can sign up. You can get between 1 to 10 right now, mailed directly to your door. And it's if you're a fan of tokens, this is great. If you just want to it's sort of a slightly extra way, though you guys do a lot already to help support the channel. An extra way to support the channel. Travis is pointing. I do have some off screen.
I guess it makes no sense.
Yeah, because I put the overlay. I realized that afterwards, right? Whereas like I was putting them on the table, but they're so small on the table.
See how good they are? Yeah.
Whereas you guys will have been seeing as I've been talking the actual pictures of them. So yeah, there is going to be a link appearing above Travis's head that'll take you to a video that's going to talk more in depth about the Token of the Month Club, and there is always going to be a link to the Token of the Month Club in the description below. So now that I've gone through that little spiel mid-game, we're going to shuffle up. Travis has already got a head start in that, and get to the next game of this Sarkhan versus Tezzeret fiasco.
It sounded like a slur. The Sarkhan game.
And we are back. I have kept my opening hand.
I have kept, but that's just the cocky confidence of winning one single match, you know. It's
like, yeah, I'm not confident. It's an okay opening hand. It's not great, but the previous opening hand didn't end up working out any better, and I had stuff right out of the gate for that one. So I get to go first, so I'm going to actually show my hand first. Once again, guys, I know this is not the greatest opening hand, but I had what I thought was going to be the best opening hand last game, and it did not work out for me. So
those pendulums you thought were the best?
Oh, yeah, no. It was the turn 1 play, and then the only good part of having a pendulum on turn 2 was the turn 1 play of being able to play that other creature. Anyways, enough complaining. I'm going to try my best with him here, and you can go ahead and show.
Okay.
Silence.
Well, because I had to reorganize them now.
Oh, okay. I thought you were showing, not saying anything.
No. Well, usually I do because I don't want to give anything away.
Just showing your cards and making direct eye contact with the camera.
Not the most awesome, but I got faith and confidence.
And you got to have faith. The faith.
Sure you do. There, George Michael / Limp Bizkit.
I forgot Limp Bizkit. Use that.
Never forget Limp Bizkit.
Is it? Yeah. Is it my turn? It is my turn, right?
It's your turn.
Island. And a go to you, sir.
Mountain and no shock. Back to you.
Oh boy, I hope I get a pendulum of patterns here. Island, no pendulum. Pass turn to you.
Mountain. Tapping 2 mountains. 2 red for our friend from last time, the Vashino Pyromancer.
Okay, at least it's not the Whelp. I take 2.
Well, the Whelp costs 3 mana. I don't know why I know that, but...
Oh, it costs 3? Oh, okay. Yeah. Alrighty.
3 mana for 2/2.
My turn?
Back to you, sir.
Okay. Okay, well, that sucks, but I'm going to play an island, I'm going to do tap for 3, and I'm just going to go ahead and cast Divination, draw 2 cards.
It's one of those weird little commons that are played in like even like almost top tier standard decks sometimes because it's just sometimes good to draw cards.
It's no Anticipate. Or Glimmer of Genius. But I'm going to pass turn to you.
All right. Play another mountain. We'll go to combat.
Go to combat. I take
for
2. Down to 16.
Post combat, tap 3 for not the dragon, but the Okanaki Ogre. He's a 4/2 for 3 mana. Ogre Warrior.
Nice.
Nothing else spectacular about him. I've actually seen this card mentioned, added to a lot of that mono red burn in standard actually, because of the 2 damage right at the back.
Yeah, 2 damage to man, red aggro is it's so hot right now.
It is. Oh my. What was that? Hansel.
He's so hot right now.
But it is like it was just funny because sometimes I've played against mono red aggro and I'm like, I'm not losing, but I'm going to concede because it's boring playing me.
You know what? That actually reminds me of something. Sorry.
What? Me being boring?
No, continue. Sorry.
No, that's pretty much. I will concede because I'm like, what am I going to do? Win? I don't win when it's just doing back and forth. Bomat Courier. Like,
yeah, it's a tough. I mean, it's a viable deck. It's
somewhat budget. You can make it budget.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the things as well too. It can be fairly budget. You can definitely create a nice little budget version of it. But yeah, it is a frustrating deck sometimes to play against. What I was going to mention is that I should have mentioned this at the very beginning. I am going to allow conceding in future episodes of the Mana Cave, so that when we're in the situation
like that bad for you.
No, not this right. Not right now.
not related to the current situation, but I'm now going to allow conceding.
But it does. There have been times where it adds like 10 to 15 minutes sometimes, weirdly enough, to not concede when I could concede to the editing process. And it's just, that's a little behind the scenes thing is the editing is actually the thing I enjoy least about creating the Mana Cave. So that will be something which I meant to mention right off the bat, but you can now concede on the Mana Cave when things are hopeless. Neither of us don't worry, because knowing Travis and knowing myself, neither of us are ever going to concede if we think there's even the slightest chance that we can pull a game out of a tailspin. So it's just going to be in those rare cases where we're drawing completely dead. Anyways, I'm going to be tapping for 4.
Is that big dude again?
Bringing out Snapping Drake. It's a big 3/2. It's a big 3/2 with flying though. So, and it will actually be able to maybe stop some of your guys unless you have shock, in which case it's not going to do much of anything. I'm going to pass the turn to you.
Boop, boop, boop. So I'll play a mountain.
Shock me, Travis. Shock me.
You asked for it.
I knew it. Okay. So now I'm taking 6.
Charging through with the ogre and the wizard for 6.
Down to 10. And you still got 3 mana up. Great.
Yeah, so I guess we'll maximize our mana usage here and cast that whelp. So, Sarkhan's whelp, 2/3 or 2/2 flying. He'll deal damage if I get my Sarkhan Dragonsoul out in time. See what I did there? I read the card to be so I do pass back to you though.
Oh man. And normally it's like, if I'm able to get it out means if I can get enough mana to bring it out. But in this game it means, is Ed still going to be around long enough for when I get the mana to bring it out?
Not to be a cocky, confident jerk, but both, are accurate.
Okay, so I have... Right now you got 4, you're representing 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on the board. I'm at 10. There's a card...
I know there's a card that can gain you 3 life.
Which I'm... Yeah, well, it's a stopgap, which cost me 2 to get out there. There's a card which I could play now. I have a choice between 2 cards. One sec, folks. I'm going to show what my conundrum is. So basically, I can cast one of these 2. One of them is going to obviously affect the board in a different way than the other one, but both of them are essentially going to be used for defense. So one of them I would like to save, The other one, I don't really care, but I don't think it's going to last long once it hits the board.
Stop dwindling around and just cast it.
I'm gonna pay 3
to dwindle my ogre.
Oh, oh God!
That sounds so nasty. Silence.
I'm gonna pay 4 and make you have to have the burn. I'm gonna play Snapping Dragon.
Okay.
Pass the turn to you.
Pardon me. That's a 2/3 or 3/2.
Yeah, it's a 3/2. I dislike this deck so much.
I'm not entirely sure why I have to have the burn, but...
Okay. So now I can either block the flyer, which may be more difficult to deal with later on, or I can block the 4/2. So I'd either be taking 6 or I'd be taking 4. If I take 6, you have the mana up to once again go ahead, shock, lightning strike me down. If I take 4, you have the mana to lightning strike me twice. I think I want to take out the flyer.
Cool.
Damage goes through?
Damage goes through.
Okay, so
that
then
was actually a good call.
I'm down at 4. These
These
trade.
I no longer control a dragon. So I'm going to tap 2 for the Kargan Dragon Rider.
Oh, thank goodness.
He's a human warrior, but as long as I control a dragon, he has flying. So
I made a good choice.
Even my little whelp would have been a dragon, but that's it for this turn.
Okay, so now it's my turn?
It's your turn.
All right, come on, blue board wipe.
In that deck.
Okay, I can't hold on to it any longer. I have to go ahead and cast it. I also have to cast something which is going to get no extra value. I'm going to dwindle.
That's a solid dwindle.
Your Ogre Warrior.
Don't deny that dwindle.
I know, but you have so many flyers, big flyers I'm not going to be able to deal with. And then I'm going to pay 3. I complained about having 2 Pendulum Patterns last time, out early. And then I've had this in my hand for the longest time. Skilled Animator, tapping 3 to bring it out. It's a 1/3 Human Artificer. When it enters the battlefield, target artifact you control becomes an artifact creature with base power, toughness 5/5 for as long as Skilled Animator remains on the battlefield. But I did not get any artifacts this time around.
Did you put that card in that deck? Because I don't think Wizards of the Coast put that card in that deck.
There is, I think, 1 copy of this card in this deck, so don't get too excited. Yeah, so now it's...
And that's standard legal. Again, I don't know anything about standard being good, but I mean, now on turn 3, you can attack with a 5/5.
This, once again, is something I would change. I would probably put more of this. You know, if you want to increase the power of this deck with a budget, I would put more of this in this deck. Less of the Pendulum, more of the Skilled. I'm going to pass the turn to you for what will probably be the last time this game. Top deck shock. Did you top deck shock?
Kinda.
Oh, it's over.
Actually, now that you mention it, I will go to combat.
Okay, I'll block the 2/1.
Okay.
I'll take... Go to damage?
Go to damage, yeah.
I'll take 2. I'm down to 2. That dies.
That dies.
This lives.
That lives. So then I'll tap 5 for Sarkhan's Dragonfire. It's not really shock, but it's sorcery. I won't bother to look.
I had a 5-cost artifact, which I just drew last turn, in my hand, and I had the Meteor Golem. And I would have loved to have gotten that out, but 7 mana. I was at 6. I was almost there, but I could not. I couldn't keep up.
I had 2 ways of killing you. If I top deck a mountain, no, I need 6 for the 4/4 flying haste.
Yeah.
Or Sarkhan himself, he gets -3. Deals 4 damage to your target player.
Yeah.
So
it's like.
But if I'm like. Normally,
you were stuck at 5, but you also
stuck at 5 in a red deck.
Yeah, you could also draw. You could have this one or draw it. You could get shock. You could get lightning strike. Electrolyze, I think, is only creatures, so that wouldn't work. You could get another one of another one of the salamander dude.
Yeah. The irony is you can't take a land.
Yeah,
because it's that's something actually we should probably say. It does say in this card to search library and reveal a red card. I, for the longest time, always thought, red card, that's...
we were both under this impression. I remember, early on when we started getting back into Magic, we both were under that impression that lands were considered colors of their color, right?
Yeah.
But they're not. They're not considered. So
they tap for their color, but they're considered colorless.
I think I really wish all of the tutor cards, or in this case the pseudo tutor cards, had something which then helped either ramp up or discount your Planeswalker. That's something I've always kind of thought would be a nice way of offsetting the fact that in these decks, the Planeswalkers always cost too much.
Yeah.
So we're talking about a card which can only really be used a lot of the time, like the regular tutors can only really be used in that deck. So it's not going to harm it to allow it to discount that just a little bit. But these ones are slightly, I do like the utility of these new style of tutor cards a little bit better. But I do miss being able to get my Planeswalker from my graveyard as well, too, from like with the old tutor cards.
You gonna put that in your commander deck, or did you read his ultimate?
Yeah.
Granted, Planeswalker ultimates are supposed to be bonkers, but a lot of these Planeswalker decks aren't that bonkers.
Yeah, see, this is the thing. He's got his regular version from M19, which is the 3-drop, the 2 red and 1 of whatever.
Yeah.
And that one, that one surprised me that it went up in price the way it did.
Because it's dragon specific.
Yeah. And I didn't think, I mean, I know people go crazy for Planeswalkers that cost round 3. But I didn't think that one, I thought I was going to be able to get that one on a budget. And right now I can't. But yeah, I mean, that would be an alternative, though. Well, 6 is an awful lot to get out there.
Wipe my goblin board, potentially, if I don't have any buffs.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's actually, again, 6 is a lot, but it starts as a 5.
It's not bad for a dragon-based deck, and that's, and I mean, I think they did a good, because they only use M19 cards with these decks, right? So I think they did a good job of making this as close to a dragon deck as they could, given the limited card pool they had. But I think if you were to really sort of like focus on this and becoming more of a dragon deck, I think you could do, a lot of these Planeswalker decks could be tweaked, not to challenger deck levels, but to slightly more competitive levels with just a few changes here and there. The next card I drew, I should say, I just want to, sorry. No, go ahead. You go ahead.
I was going to say, if you do buy these, honestly, you can go into probably the same place you bought them, unless it was Walmart, but like a local game store, not game shop, and just say, I have like literally $2. What better commons and uncommons can I buy to make this deck? And most guys at the counter are probably going to have some really good suggestions. Because I'm looking at this deck, and I disliked it against Liliana, because it was all, we got a good big creature out, removal, which is usually my thing. So it does actually a lot of promise. There's decent burn, and there are decent dragons, and there's some dragon synergy. So this one actually might not be $2 off of being decent. Again, not like standard.
No,
but I would be less angry with it with like $2 worth of changes in this deck, which is probably good now that they cost slightly less because they only come with that one booster pack. So,
these ones, the M19 ones, I think that's going to change back to the way they were before with the 2 booster packs for future ones again. But I was actually going to do a Deck Builder's Toolkit video for the Mana Cave with, I think, the last set with Dominaria, I completely forgot.
They all have them now, the Deck Builder Toolkit comes like pretty much every single set now, I think.
I have to start writing things down when I'm like, I would really like to do this, because then I'll end up forgetting, because then new stuff comes out, and then I focus on that instead. So.
It's been a pretty... This is turning to another one of our podcasts. It's been a pretty busy Magic season since almost like April, was it, till now? Like, and then 5 Planeswalker decks, especially for what you do with your channel. There's a lot of these Planeswalker decks in the Mana Cave, so that takes a lot of time. Already the new Commander has been out.
Yeah.
Dominaria, M19, and before Dominaria was the second Ixalan that came up. That would have been saying just before, but... Battle Bond was in there too.
Battle Bond, yeah.
Already forgotten about.
A lot of stuff. Yeah, and we did a video. We actually did a Battle Bond video, so...
Yeah.
So
you're forgiven for not doing the Deck Builder's Toolkit, because it's been a busy half year, let's just say, for Magic on your channel.
In an ideal world, every single week there'd be a Mana Cave. There'd be one other... like gaming video, which would like a tabletop trenches where it's like we play some other game, and a digital game, like an actual video game. That is sort of my ideal in the future. That's what I would like the Brain Pulp to be. 3 updates per week. Right now, it's tough enough a lot of the time with work and stuff for me to be able to get the Mana Cave out once a week.
Yeah.
Because there's times where it's like it's a little later than a week that Mana Cave comes out. But that's sort of my end goal with, not the end goal, but like my future plans with the channel is 3 updates, but we'll see when that happens. I have a bad habit of, in all the best intentions, saying I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, and you just run out of time, or just stuff happens, or your editing program stops working properly. So you have to get a new one.
Also had some editing issues.
Yeah, I've learned Premiere Pro. I don't like subscription based software.
No.
I don't. I prefer to be able to buy the software, and then own it. Then you just own it. And then you can have it for as long as you can use it before you need to like update it to a new version.
Netflix is the only subscription-based anything. Like everything else, I'm like, I want to own what I own.
Like things like Dropbox, which have made my career possible, like the freelance career that I have. Dropbox was a huge game changer. I don't mind paying for certain things on a monthly basis.
Yeah.
Software is not one of the things I typically like paying on a monthly basis. But switching over to Premiere Pro, and they're not a sponsor at all, so I'm just saying this because it's helped me and maybe it'll help you guys. I think has been worth the money. 100% I think has been worth the money. So it's so much more stable than any of the other programs I've used. The other programs I used I've liked, but when you're working on a budget, sometimes you get what you pay for. Yeah. Premiere Pro has been super solid. The render times have been super quick. I've been super happy with it. So that's actually probably saved the channel from maybe even like going the way of the dodo, because if I hadn't been able to solve my
you would have just, I think,
editing issues,
chop your videos up into shorter. It would have been each match.
Oh, it would have been such a pain though. So anyways, yeah, we did turn this into a podcast. Yeah. But it was a super short game, so we got to give you some content. So there you go, folks. The next video will be the runoff of Liliana versus Vivian in the plane. That's going to be an actual Planeswalker Deck Showdown, because once again, this was just an exhibition match. And then it will be the 100th episode, which there's a slight possibility that the 100th episode won't come out right after 99. It may come out.
That doesn't make sense.
A little bit later than that. I may release 101 before I release 100, depending on
you literally can't do
on
that.
how we can get the things off the ground for episode. If I can do the things that I want to do for episode 100, it may take a little bit longer. Anyways, that is the future of the episodes for the Mana Cave. Thank you guys for tuning into this episode and for sticking around this long if you've been listening to us yammer on the way we do. And we'll see you in the next episode.